So, you are welcome to another live. Just a minute, guys. I'll be right back. Hello, everyone. You're welcome to my YouTube channel. So, it's me again. So, earlier this morning, we started speaking about 100 things I wish I knew before I migrated from Nigeria to the United Kingdom. So, my name is Blessing Ame, and if you are just coming across this page for the first time, you are welcome to my humble channel. So, today, less distraction. So today, I would like to speak about, or I would like to say some stories that could benefit people in the care profession. So if you live in the UK or if you've been to the UK a lot, you would know that care jobs are the most popular jobs for immigrants. There is always a lot of shortage in the healthcare sector. So when I came to Aberdeen, I started doing community care. I enjoyed my job so much because it was different. My only challenge was walking a lot from one place to the other. Because in Nigeria, of course, I used to drive to the court from home, back home to the court, to church. So my life was just like a triangle. So when I came to Aberdeen and I started the care job, because I didn't really know my way around, so I couldn't even get on the bus a lot of times because I was always late to where I was going to. So I enjoyed my care job so much in the early days, but I just have a little bit of advice for someone out there. So when I finished my 1 week compulsory training, my first shift ever, I was supposed to help a woman with her night bag, catheter night bag that is usually attached to the leg. And when I was doing my training, it seemed so easy. But when it was time to do what I already learned in my training, guys, I failed woefully. I stood over this woman's leg for like 5 minutes. I didn't have an idea on how to change the night bag. So instead of phoning my company to tell them that, okay, I've arrived on this first shift, but it's not going as well as planned. Come and help me. I didn't call them. I was just scared, beating around the bush. Then the woman was very angry. She asked me to leave her house. So I didn't know what to do. I started crying. So instead of going to the next client that I had, out of fear of what happened with the first woman, I went back to my house and I cried for the rest of that Saturday. Now, this is a serious rookie mistake. If you're on community care or if you've done community care before, you would know that sometimes you have like 6 or 7 clients you have to see like within 1 hour intervals. So because of what happened at this woman's place, I didn't know how to change the night bag. I went home and I cried, and I did not go to see my other clients. So that means those people were without care, without anything for the rest of that day until the agency were able to find like other staff to go and cover up. So what am I talking about today? If you are in the care sector, honesty is key, and you need to be really careful. You need to be careful. This place, they don't joke with human lives. They don't joke with investigation. So in your care job, you need to be careful. Do your job diligently, but be careful, especially when it comes to dispensing and counting medication. You could fall into problems that I've seen a lot of people get into a lot of problems. Even though I've not really had personal problems myself, but I know there are some times that I've made mistakes by not signing for a medication I gave, and you find some of your nice colleagues tell you, oh, come back and sign for this medication before you leave, or else you get into trouble. But it's not every time you find someone that will give you that advice. So, guys, if you're in the care sector and you deal with medication a lot, you need to be careful. Cross check, double check. So, if you were to dispense medication to your client, what are the first things to do? Number one, you pick up the box. You look if it is the name of the client on the box. If it is the name of the client on the box, you check the expiry date, especially if you've not been going there a lot, you just come in there for the first time. So once you've checked and you have established that their names are written on the box, then you can check the expiry date of the medication. When after the expiry date seems okay to you, you can go ahead to look at the dosage. Go ahead to read if there's like adverse reaction or warning. On some medication, they might say do not consume with grape or do not consume with XYZ. So you want to look properly. And if you're still confused, you can refer to the daily recording sheet. Check what the person that came yesterday or earlier said. Look at what they wrote there. Look at what they gave the person. Then another simple way to not get confused in terms of medication is taking that person's MAR chart and reading it fully. So I know in some places you might not find a MAR chart to read, but if you are dispensing medication, you need to check that the person's name is on the pack. You need to check the expiry date. You need to check that the medication does not have adverse reaction. And if it does, you need to check. So guys, you need to be careful. So this is the UK. You cannot just go about dispensing medication anyhow you like. And when you dispense a medication, make sure you sign for it. Don't let people sign for you. Don't form the habit of saying, sign for me. It is medication. You are supposed to sign for it. So if anybody comes to say anything in court someday, God forbid something happens, someone dies, and they're investigating, and it even has nothing to do with your medication, and they're coming across all your medication errors, you won't even be there to speak for yourself. You're asking someone to sign for you. What if someone sets you up? Sometimes I go to work when I used to do care job, and we'll be dispensing control meds. Can you imagine that some people, after you help them dispense the meds, they will tell you, sign for me. So what if I didn't sign for you? Or what if I didn't sign for both of us? What if I get us in trouble? So if you're in the care sector, you need to be careful with medication. Then again, you need to be careful when you are going to help clients with their incontinence. First, you need to put yourself in your client's shoes. Let's start from here. If you have been okay all your life, going to toilet yourself, doing everything yourself, and for the past 5 years, you've suddenly lost the ability to do things for yourself, and different people are coming to look after you every day, did you know that you'll be a little bit grumpy? So you need to sometimes, you just need to be understanding with this, older people. Sometimes you think they are being too difficult. Again, if just be patient. A lot of times, most of them are not being difficult. They've just been through so much. And if you notice, if you keep going there consistently, they start warming up well to you. So number one, when you're coming as a Black person like me, first, don't think that every old person is racist. They might just be like a grumpy old person. So they're not being racist to you. They will be racist, they will even be grumpy to their own family too. So it's not a skin color thing. So if you're going into the care profession and you don't have empathy and kindness or patience, you don't have any business going there, because someday you might lose it and you might misbehave. Did you know that some people put cameras in their parents' homes? So sometimes, even though they say privacy laws, they won't tell you. So you might go there and go and treat those people's families in a bad way. In fact, with or without camera, nobody should tell you. If you're in the care sector, I know people do it because they don't have a job. Please try to cultivate empathy. If you don't have it, I know we're not all the same. If you don't have any empathy and pity in you, please look for some. The care profession is not for everybody. So if you go to the care profession with the aim of just making money and you're not just invested in it, trust me, you'll be frustrated. You'll be hating everybody. Now I'm going to tell you another short story. I'm not going to name names. I'm going to tell you a short story of what someone did. I'm not going to say her nationality. Now, during the COVID period, there was a lot of shortage. If you noticed, a lot of permanent staff were off because of COVID. They said they had long COVID. In fact, the company I was working for, most of their staff ran home in the name of COVID. Sorry, I'm digressing. But when the UK government came to give £500 to healthcare workers, did you see them give agency workers? Meanwhile, we're the ones that suffered. During COVID, all the permanent staff in most of the big care homes, they ran back to their house. Oh, I have long COVID. Oh, I have surgery. Every day, people were dying left, right, and center. My close friends, like my clients that I love so much, they were dying. I was crying. On some days it was snowing, but I kept going. I kept showing up every day. What now? Let me come back to what I was saying. Let me tell you what this lady did. She started coming into a care home and started dating a man in the care home. How disgusting and how weird does that sound to you? The girl dated a man that is almost 3 times her age. Now, mind you, this man has been in the hospital for 2 years, or let's say 1 year. Then COVID happened. So he couldn't go back to his house, but he needed care. So he was brought into that care home. Like, it was supposed to be a form of respite, but COVID kept going on, and COVID never ended. Do you know what this Nigerian girl did? Please, I'm not making up these stories. It happened. Just listen and learn. Please, no matter your situation, no matter how broke or down you think you are, your clients are not that kind of client, in quote. You don't do that. How can you even date your clients? Now, this girl came and started being friendly with some clients. I noticed the moves and I was like, this move's not very good, but I kept quiet. Did you know that at the end of 2 weeks, this girl successfully took over 10,000 pounds from this client? After their relationship turned sour, the client came into the care home one evening and I was the one on duty dispensing medication. And he said to me, did you know that I went out with this girl and I gave her a lot of money and she sent me back home? And I told him, calm down. What did you just say? Tell me the story again. And he told me the story of how he has been going to his bank, withdrawing 5,000 pounds, 3,000 pounds, and giving to this lady. Mind you, this lady kept taking this money from this man. She took money from the man until it was up to the tune of 10,000 pounds. At the end of the relationship, she made him go to the bank, withdrew everything he had in the bank. She took him shopping and they bought designer brands. I don't want to call the name of the brands. She brought designers, then she posted it on her social media. Then some of the girls in that place are on social media. So they saw it. They were like, look at this man and this girl, social media. So when the man was reporting what happened to me, I said, please, I don't want trouble. Me, I'm very, very unlucky with staff. They will be like, I claim righteous. Don't report to me. Go and report to the team leader. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to be a party to it. I don't like things like this. And this man went and reported to the team leader. So the team leader involved the police. And when the police got involved, they said, this is not the first time this lady has been taking money from men, old men, vulnerable men. The man I was speaking about was in hospital. Imagine, that means he had not been with a woman for a while. He was taking medication. She even asked him to stop taking his medication. So imagine the kind of, what she was doing was so criminal that she was not taking transfers from the man. The man kept withdrawing cash and she never followed him into the bank. So you see, Police Scotland could not do anything about this. Now, where do I come in this matter? After Police Scotland contacted the girl for what she has done to that man, this girl sent me a message to say, you will never make it in this life. You reported me. You reported one of your own. You are wicked. You are this, you are that. And the first thing I said is, in fact, I'm even ashamed that you're one of my own. If you can stoop so low to date your client, you didn't only date him, then you swindled him of his money, then you have the guts to come to my phone to talk to me. In fact, you are lucky. The Scotland police did not act because they said there was not enough evidence. I was not hoping that they act, but I know some of you will be wanting to know the end of the story. Nothing happened to the girl, but the Triple S said they're going to strike out her name so she can never practice care in Scotland again. Even if she tries to appeal it, there's just so much against her now. I remember the message this girl sent to me. They're in my phone. She cursed me and cursed me all the curses you can think about in this life. And I told her, you're a thief, you're a petty thief. If you've been stealing and you're used to it, you don't come and do it up to this place. And I wasn't even the one that saw your social media because we were so busy that period that I don't even go on social media. The people that saw your social media, they're different. And I told her, I wish I was one that saw your social media first. I would have reported you. So guys, if you're in the care profession, please and please, you need to have empathy. Then you need to be content with what you have. You go to some client's house, you go and be seeing their jewelries and their fine clothes. Don't be tempted. Don't pick anything from people's house. We're talking about medication. So let me talk about medication again before we leave. If you miss a client's medication, Call your team leader immediately. Don't pretend and try to throw the medication away or try to, you don't know. Now let's look at medication for like epilepsy, people that have seizures. Imagine you missing their medication or giving them an overdose and not reporting. Guys, if you have that kind, if you make that kind of mistake, phone your team leader. If you cannot reach your team leader, phone NHS 24, especially controlled drugs. So if there are normal paracetamols and those kind of things you missed, you can write the reasons why you missed it there. You will see A, B, C, D, maybe vomiting, refusal, or sleeping. Fill it in there. If you are dealing with medication in the United Kingdom, guys, remember, if you are not careful enough, please don't go into the care profession. And if you are going into the care profession, make sure, if you're not experienced enough, go where you will have other people dispensing meds and your own job will just be personal care and the rest of it. And again, to even make your life easy, there are so many free online courses on Udemy and the rest of them. If you go to Triple SC website, there are so many free courses. You need to refresh your medication training over and over. Guys, I've been in care since 2018. I worked in care up till this year. And let me tell you, I never take my job for granted. I never say, I know this client so much, so I'm not going to read the mark sheet. I read the mark sheet. Even people that have 30 medication on their mark sheet, I will read it one after the other because I don't want to make mistakes. I don't want anybody to come tomorrow and say, oh, you cannot be this thing because somebody died because of you. So please be careful in terms of medication. Don't steal people's medication like control meds and multivitamins. Like I said, some people have cameras in their house. So if you're fond of going and be stealing chocolates, biscuits, paracetamol, toilet roll, your client, how much is toilet roll? If you go to Asda and the rest of them, you find toilet roll for £2, £3. Why are you stealing one from your client's house? So guys, please be careful with medication. If you miss a medication, phone your team leader. If it's a control medication, phone NHS 24 immediately. If your client is refusing to take their medication, you can't force them. Here they have right. Don't force them. Phone your team leader. If you can't reach anybody, make sure you record it in your daily recording sheet so that the next person coming on shift can see what has transpired earlier in the day. You don't want to joke. If you don't want problem and you're not careful enough, please generally pack your things and leave the care profession. Now I'm going to give you another advice again about the care profession. When you go to your client, don't go and be moaning to them that, oh, my back is sore, my leg is sore. They'll be saying, oh dear, oh dear. When you leave, they will call your team leader and tell your team leader that she's not keen on her job. That's what they will say. You are so keen on your job. That's the next thing you hear. So please, if you are tired, you can meet your friends or your colleagues or your team leader for support. It's not the client that you're going to their house. Then some people go to the client's house and be telling the client the story of their lives. I don't know, maybe you watch too many movies and you think the client will just suddenly pity you and just give you all their money or put you in their will. It doesn't always go down well. Again, if you are a nasty person, please don't do care job. The embarrassment is too much. You can see it on Instablog every day. Even if it's not just a job, is that how you treat a normal human being? Every time we're preaching racism is bad. Racism is bad. But you know, for those of us that are not racist, we have some other bad, in fact, some very devilish behaviors in us. We treat other human beings like they're less than a human, both blacks and whites. See, I've experienced the good, the bad, and the ugly in my care job. I experienced a lot of people that did their job diligently. And during COVID-19, I will never forget, there are some women, I don't want to call their names. These people are women, they have 2 kids, 3 kids. We're doing our job so well. We're doubling up, doing things. But when COVID became worse and they were no longer staff and they said everybody can now do care, you need to see what we're coming across. Imagine during COVID, people coming to work and hiding inside the toilet when we don't even have enough people. People were dying every day. Imagine having to change your PPE from your head to your toe. You are changing, you are wearing it again. You are changing. As you're coming out of this room, you are washing everything because you don't want to have COVID yourself. But you know, in the height of this COVID, I now happen to now even work with my own people. Then they showed me Pepe. Imagine working with your own people and trying to tell them that, you know, you need to sit up a bit, you need to do like this. They'll tell you, I too know. So guys, care profession, empathy, patience, care, foresight. And sometimes when your client is telling you things, some of them are setting a trap for you. Please don't fall into it. And some of them have dementia. So they might not understand what you're saying. So they'll go and tell their family something else. Then some of them, they forget because they are old. You need to be careful what you say to your client. It's not your problem. It's not your client's business. They pay your company and your company pays you. So anything that you're talking and you're going beyond, know your boundaries, know the line. Because there's just too many cases of people getting disciplinary action. For what? Because they're trying to help other people. So while you are helping other people and being diligent, protect yourself, cover your back at all times. If you are at work and a team leader does not really like you, if you feel that way, report to the manager. If you're at work and you think your colleagues are up to something, or they don't like you, they're treating you bad, speak up for yourself, stand up. You see this UK, if you are doing care and they tell you, do this, do that, and you keep nodding your head and going, yes, sir, trust me, everybody will use you. But if they say, do this, you need to ask, is this my job for today? Can you show me my schedule for today? Do you know why? If you know how to walk very fast like me, if they show you, do this, when you have done 5 of that, they are still on their own 1 that. So by the time you come back again, they'll give you more things to do. So if you know how to walk fast, if they say, do this, tell them, give me my schedule for this shift. Don't let people use you, because they will use you. You are getting the same amount, 13 pounds an hour, 14 pounds an hour. It will break your own back. Some people would never, ever lift a finger. They will be on a shift. It will look like they didn't even come on any shift. So again, protect your back. If you miss a medication, I keep repeating medication talk. If you miss medication, record it. Oh, it doesn't, call them. Nothing will happen. They prefer you to tell them the truth than you lie. So don't go and hide medication somewhere, and don't steal client medication. You say maybe somebody in your family has epilepsy. They are stealing one. If somebody dies one day, they will do investigation. I hope you know this is not back home. They will check, they do autopsy. They will check everything. See, I lost my dear son last year, and even though he died in our presence in the hospital, they did autopsy. They were checking, they are still investigating up till now as I talk to you. So here in this place, don't steal people's medication. Don't be nasty to people. Their cameras will catch you. And if you are stealing medication, somebody mistakenly die one day, God forbid, especially like seizure meds, you need to be careful, guys. And again, if you are giving people bath and you are treating them so bad, you are acting so weird. Sometimes some people's team leaders stand outside the bathroom, they are listening to you. Sometimes you think these patients have dementia. Wait till them see their family, their dementia will disappear. And if you are a bad person, you've been treating them so bad because nobody is watching you, one day they'll catch you. So if you miss a medication, call your team leader. If money is missing, call your team leader. If you think someone is trying to set you up, call your team leader. If someone is always picking on you, call your team leader. If you need concern, go online. This is UK. There are so many help online. Then if you have not even joined a union, join a care union. Because for the days that trouble will come, you will not have anywhere to turn to. So guys, there you have it. And again, if you're a student, please don't work more than 20 hours. Don't work more than 20 hours. It will not kill you. Somehow you'll be fine. Don't go and overdo things so that when you're applying for your visa tomorrow, you start wondering, where did you go wrong? Guys, this is the 3rd time I've applied for a UK visa. And by God's grace, this time I am on a family visa. Even though I'm on a family visa, I am careful. I think of when I'll get my passport. I think of what I do. I don't want problem. I want my record to be clean as it is. So please, you looking for your daily bread in a care job should not put you in trouble. If you are doing your care job, do it diligently, but watch your back and tell bullies to stay clear of you. You don't need bullies. You don't need that distraction. It's already depressing enough. Taking care of old people, thinking about your own future, seeing yourself that you're going to be like that someday, is already depressing. So what am I saying in essence? Guys, please be kind. Have empathy. If you don't have empathy, leave the profession. It's not for you. You can go to Amazon and DPG and pick boxes. You don't need to interact with human beings. So if you think you're not kind enough, there are so many things for you to do. You can go to McDonald's, you can go to KFC, go and sell food there. Care profession is not for everybody. This applies to both managers and team leaders. Some of them are very, very nasty. While I say, I met a lot of nice people in Scotland, there are some few ones that will teach you a lesson, you will not believe it. Then there are some people that treat, in fact, this one is a long story for another day. I'm going to end this live now because I have to go attend to another business. But I'm going to come back again in another 1 hour to continue this episode we started about care. For some reasons, I'm enjoying the care one, and I'm going to give you some tips and some things that helped me and how I'm able to stay inspired and motivated, even going through so much, going through life, but doing care, the post-COVID, the mental health aspect of things, not being able to open up about mental health from Nigeria, then coming here I now had postpartum depression. So guys, in my next episode, I'm going to speak about mental health from the perspective of a support worker, and I'm going to speak about mental health from the perspective of a mom that has lost her beloved son. I'm smiling because I know my son is in heaven. I lost my dear son Arthur last year, and it was a turning point in my life. Guys, I was down for months. I was not myself. In fact, I could not speak. I'm just so happy these days. This is the sixth day I'm coming live and I'm speaking. I'm so happy and I'm so thankful and grateful to all of you out there listening to me. I know I'll get better at this, but I have so much stories to share with you. So much experience from my Japa series. Leaving Nigeria to Scotland is not completely green grass as you think. But trust me, if you're hardworking, God is going to bless the work of your hands. Guys, so there you have it again. Thank you for joining me. See you again by 2 o'clock.